Have you ever set goals just to give up on them 2 weeks later? I used to be the person who would always set goals at the beginning of the year, but then never achieve them. No matter how hard I would try, nothing seemed to work. The thing is, setting goals is easy, but achieving them can be really tricky. So, do goals really work? I'm here to tell you yes. Absolutely. But the key is setting the right goals. So I'm excited to share with you the common pitfalls of goal setting and how to set yourself up for success. Some people think that more is better, especially when it comes to goal setting. There's this idea that if you set a goal that is 10 times higher than what you actually want to achieve, you are more likely to achieve your goal 1 time or 2 times. So it's kind of this idea that you succeed by failing. From my experience, that doesn't work. We need a realistic approach to goal setting. Setting a goal that is 10 times higher than you actually want it to be is going to feel really overwhelming, and as a result it will be really unmotivating, because oftentimes you cannot even imagine what this 10 times goal is and how you would even get there. You definitely need goals that are out there. Dream big, don't limit yourself, but keep them realistic. Don't overwhelm yourself from the beginning. Oftentimes goals are really vague, like I want to be fit. What does being fit look like? How often does this person who is fit work out? Those are details that are oftentimes just not specified, and as a result, you don't know how to measure your goal. You don't even know how to approach your goal and how to take actions towards achieving it. What often happens is that you set a goal, you write it out in a journal, and then you just never look at it again. You know that there are some goals written down somewhere and they have something to do with your career and with working out and maybe running a marathon, but like after a few months, you just forget what you even wrote down. Which, of course, makes it really difficult to reach your goals if you don't know what your goals are, if you don't remind yourself of your goals every now and then. So throughout the year, you need to take a look at them again. A good way to do this is at the end of every month. You can see what you have done and you can see what you still have to work towards. There are also studies that show that goals feel less rewarding the further away they are. The more they're in the future, the less we can really understand in this moment in time what these goals actually mean for us, what it would actually feel like to accomplish them. If you set a goal for in a year, well, you just think you have time, and then after 6 months, you still think you have time, and then you have 1 month left, and you realize you haven't worked towards it because you always thought you had time, and now it's too late because this is such a huge goal that realistically would take a year to accomplish. What also often happens is that people hold themselves back. So often we self-sabotage. We make sure that we will never be able to succeed before we even tried to do anything, tried to work towards anything. Imagine how many things you could accomplish if you believed in yourself, if you didn't self-sabotage, if you just went for it without fearing failure, without holding yourself back. Also, imagine how many things you could accomplish if you didn't let others hold you back. A lot of times we set goals and we're so excited about setting goals, and then we share them with someone and that someone says, that's a stupid goal, or you're never gonna accomplish this, or why would you even set that goal? Why do you even want that? And of course, then we feel disappointed and we feel sad that this person doesn't approve of our goals, so we just give up on our goals. So how do we actually succeed with our goals? The answer to this is really simple. Just don't set goals. Instead, set systems. Like I said, goals can be very vague. It can be just this random idea that we put out into the universe and just hope that one day magically something will happen and we will achieve this goal. But if we have a system for how we're gonna set the goal, how we're gonna achieve the goal, what we're gonna do throughout the whole process, we are way more likely to achieve our goals. First, of course, we need to come up with our goals. For this, it's really important to not limit yourself. Get out of your comfort zone, get out there and think about all the things you could do if you believed in yourself. Sit down and just set aside all of your limiting beliefs and think about goals or journal about them, just write them down somewhere without even letting limiting beliefs have any say in this entire process. Make your goals meaningful to you. Don't just say things that look good, like having an aesthetic morning routine. Well, yeah, that's nice, but wouldn't it be nicer to have a morning routine that makes you feel prepared for the day and makes you feel energized? A goal doesn't have to look good or be aesthetic in order to be worth achieving. Actually write down your goals. Writing down something on paper or in your Notion can make the biggest difference. There's research that shows that people who write down their goals are way more likely to achieve those goals than if you just don't write them down. This is such a small thing to do, and it can make the biggest difference. So it doesn't matter if you write it on a journal or in a digital form, just make sure you write them down somewhere and that you remember where you wrote them down so that you can also go back and look at them throughout the year. Now that you know what your goals are, try to improve them. A very common framework used for setting goals is the SMART framework. I would even add the SMARTER framework. This stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound, evaluate, and reward. What this means is it's not enough to say, I want to be fit. Think about what a fit person does on a weekly basis and make it specific. So say, I will work out consistently. Make it measurable. I will work out 3 times a week. Make it achievable. Well, 3 times a week is probably achievable. Make it relevant. Well, if your goal is to be fit, then working out is a big part of that. So it's definitely very relevant to your goal. Make it time-based. So say I will work out every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And if one of those days it just doesn't work out, I will work out either on Saturday or on Sunday. And you can even add to that and just put it in your calendar. At the end of every week or every month, you can evaluate. You can see how many workouts you did. And you can change something. You can say, I want to do 4 workouts from now on, or I only have time for 2. That's also fine. Reward. Rewards make it easier. It is a way to motivate yourself to achieve those goals, because a lot of times motivating ourselves to achieve our goals just because it feels good and because we want to is a bit difficult. So you can say that if for a month you work out 3 times a week, you will buy yourself a new set of activewear. However, I want to add that I don't think that we should rely on rewards to reach our goals. Yes, getting a new set of activewear is nice, but the fact that we are showing up for ourselves and we are putting in work towards being fit or working out or whatever your goal is way better. And also, how many sets of activewear do you need? Yeah, if you look in my wardrobe, I am the wrong person to say this, but I'm just being honest. If you're enjoying this video, make sure to subscribe to see more content like this. So while goals should definitely be out there, out of your comfort zone, and you should dream big, just saying I will 10x everything that I'm doing right now and I will set the goal to be 10 times better at everything, it's just not gonna be realistic for most people. I really like this quote or idea that you can do anything, but not everything. Maybe you will be able to be 10 times better at a certain skill by the end of the year if you put in a lot of time towards that. But you will probably not be able to be 10 times fitter and 10 times a better editor and 10 times better friend and have improved your sleep 10 times. So it's really about balance, dreaming big, but being realistic about how much you can achieve in 1 year. If your big goal is to become a YouTuber and to sustain yourself from YouTube, that's a big dream, but I would say it's doable. However, unless you are already very good at editing, at scripting, at thinking about ideas, or you already have a platform, then it's probably not gonna happen in a year. That doesn't mean you shouldn't already start working towards it, but be realistic and maybe just set the goal to just upload once a week for a year and then go from there. So after we have our goals that are set correctly, we can now really think about action steps and how to achieve them. So we need to break those bigger goals down into manageable pieces and figure out how much can we work towards our goal in a month, and then break it down from there and see how much we can work towards that goal in a week. Through that, we can also create a timeline and kind of figure out how far we will get with our goal by the end of every month or every 2 months or 6 months. This, if done realistically, can give us a good idea of what we should be working towards on a daily basis. So it's all about taking the big goal, breaking it down until you get to very actionable pieces, to daily actions that you can take to get to those goals, and that then you can just do every day or every week for a year and see the results compound over time. In this whole process, we might realize that there are some problems, and I think it's really important to admit problems. Admitting mistakes and admitting that we are not perfect can be really difficult, but it is necessary. There's a good idea that you should ask yourself why 5 times. So for instance, if you want to run a marathon but somehow you just failed repeatedly at doing that. Ask yourself, why have I never run a marathon? Well, because I've never trained for a marathon. Why have I never trained for a marathon? Because I don't run consistently. Why don't I run consistently? Because I never make time for it. Why do I never make time for it? Because there are other priorities. Why are there other priorities? Well, maybe because I'm actually not that serious about wanting to run a marathon, which is okay. But if I really want to run a marathon, I need to tackle all of these problems. I need to make it a priority. I need to put it in my calendar and make time for it. I need to actually do the runs in preparation for the marathon and to actually start running. It's not easy to admit mistakes, but it is necessary. There are a lot of subconscious beliefs and mindsets that hold ourselves back. So here are some mindset shifts that will help you reach your goals. Partial success. If your goal is to work out 1 hour a day, but one day you just can't do it, you just don't have time for it, you woke up late, you missed the alarm, something happened, and now you only have half an hour left. That's not failure. Instead of saying, oh, I failed, I'm not gonna work out for an hour, and I might as well just not work out at all if I can do an hour, think that 30 minutes is already progress. If 30 minutes is the best you can do that day, then that is enough. That is progress. It's not failure. You can partially succeed instead of fully failing. Also, setbacks happen. It's a journey. There are ups and downs. And if you think about it, setbacks are a sign that we are pushing ourselves. Because if we would do nothing, setbacks couldn't happen. So setbacks can be a good sign. It's a sign that you have made progress and maybe they are necessary. Accountability is also a huge thing. Sometimes it's just hard to keep ourselves accountable. And then we need some external help. So ask for help, try to find accountability partners, suggest to your friends to hold each other accountable with goals, or to your family, or strangers on the internet. If you can't hold yourself accountable, just ask for some help and also help out some other people. Just remember to be patient. It's a journey. Goals usually don't get achieved overnight, but you can do anything you set your mind to. I believe in you, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye. If you want to see how I set my goals for 2024, how I made my vision board, how I reset to have the best year, check out this video.